Thanks, Rob. Welcome, everybody. And it's a real pleasure to be here to showcase and celebrate all the achievements of a research lifecycle programme to date. It began in 2018, and it was one of the first strategic programmes that we started at the university. And since the launch, the RLP team, using that loosely to cover everybody who's been involved in this, has delivered major improvements in the university's research environment. And that's been despite the disruption of COVID and then the major pivot and diversion for the cyber security event. So it's a successful project, and long may it continue to be so. By taking a strategic review of research investments and what we've needed, the team really has ensured that our projects provide useful services for as many people as possible, recognising different needs in different subject areas and different projects, and that the systems and services integrate well together and genuinely improving efficiency. The team's also been working flexibly within the programme, and that way of working has really enabled us to grasp opportunities along the way that many others may have missed. And when I say we, generally it's someone coming to me in the team and going, we thought about doing this. And I go, what a good idea, because the case is always really persuasively made. So it makes it very easy for me to do my job. And we've certainly picked up things through the team's expertise and anticipation, and I mean both the IT, other professionals, academics who are working in this environment to anticipate and pick up on things which we couldn't have planned for back in 2018. This is a really fast-changing research environment and a fast-changing technology environment. And two examples of this, just to illustrate, and you've got all the facts and figures up here, are the Manchester Digital Collections Service, which was a responsive move very early in the project, and our institutional overlay subscription. You're going to hear more about both those in the lightning talk shortly. The philosophy throughout the whole project has been to make appropriately sized, targeted investments. Now, of course, there'll be people from the room, myself included, who would like more money and would like to move faster. But we have to work with the envelope. I'm looking at Chris there, because Chris Taylor often tells me what we could do if we had X amount of budget. And it's a nice-to-know world, but it's beyond my power to pull down the budget I would really like us to have. But we've done targeted investments which really have improved the way people work together and improved services and project delivery. And we've scaled up existing services. So I think we really have made significant improvements to the environment that we work in. A crucial ingredient of a success there, I think, has been that the team is generally a collaboration between technical experts, academics who want to use the stuff, some of whom are highly proficient in different bits of IT use. Others just want the IT to run along in the background and they don't care how it works. They just want to be able to get onto digital collections or know where to find the safe pod in the library, which is very close to my heart, because if we'd had a safe pod when I chose my PhD subject, I'd have had a much more ambitious data set, because I'd have been able to use it on site rather than worrying about budgets and time and permissions and getting into other buildings. So what I'd like to do is really just share a few highlights and to thank everybody who's done the work in this room to get us to where we are and to shape the vision for where we want to get to next. So let me just give you a few, and you'll see usage and all the baseline we're collecting to evidence the service for a number of purposes, including our REF response in 2028. But, for example, some of the early moves we've done on the open and responsible research strategy for the university support, which has run out of the library, and Andrew Stewart, the academic director's here, as well, alongside Scott Taylor, is Figshare, which is an online open access repository to archive and share outputs from projects. Overleaf, which I mentioned, is a collaborative document for editing and publishing as a platform. which allows people to work on and make available reports, papers, you name it. So that's 2. Other innovations include the survey platform Qualtrics, so crushing the plethora of surveys of tools of uneven quality across the university, and recommending one makes a lot of sense for the teams who have to manage the software, but it also helps researchers and from all career stages to navigate 2 decent tools to do their work. So that's a third one. The fourth, I'd mentioned Manchester Digital Collections, which launched in January 2020, which allows you to look at all the wonderful special collections, and you're going to be hearing about that a bit later too. And we've invested heavily alongside, so that's just 4 packages to highlight. We've invested heavily in central computing platforms over the last 5 years. That includes our computational shared facility to provide increased free point of use capacity, high performance computing nodes for our users with those exceptional computational requirements. Now, the real geeks who work with this stuff say it's a modest investment, but it has helped us move quite a long way into the environment we want to be. Edge compute services come on stream as well, which provides specialist storage and computational solutions to those research groups whose needs are even more complex than the central platforms. So you can see the diversity we're reaching here. Digital collections, people like me want a safe pod, right through to really computational, intensive, data secure environments. That includes our highly restricted data services, ever more important after the shock of a cyber event, to think about how we manage and curate our data securely, particularly important for our clinical researchers, but not exclusively. And NetCup is another castle, a secure service for longitudinal studies. Many of you may not notice that one Swiss beauty in the background, the collaboration for N8 Centre for Excellence on computationally intensive research, where I'm always pleased when I sit in the room to see that for our budget going in from Manchester, we're receiving 50% of what's provided by 8 universities. So on that one, that's a great resource, and it's a good example nationally of shared collaboration, not just on the computing resource, but the training and capabilities and networks which are developed around that. And alongside those resources to use for research, RLP is also doing things to the environment of how you prepare and secure your application. So I hope a number of you have visited the Research Risk Profiler team just outside at lunch, which is a key tool for helping us navigate the trusted research framework and the ever-changing geopolitical of who you can work with and what you can do with them and so forth, which are particularly important for a number of areas of science and engineering, but again, not exclusively, and the world keeps changing, so it may hit others in due course. Research Explorer, part of a pure system which helps make research more visible and our researchers themselves more visible, is also run quietly under the orbit of Research Lifecycle program. And coming on stream, you've got the new award mobilisation service, which I'm really excited about, and as seen as something I've been pushing for a number of years. So I've obviously had to learn how to be more persuasive over time to get people to listen. But that's coming on stream, and I think it's going to be transformative for how we launch projects. And our new research costing tool, Black Deckle, to help those academics who want to flex while they're designing the project before we authorise the final costing, I'll just say. But the tool is, I'm already getting very favourable feedback on that, and that's early days launch. So that's just a taster of some of the things which have run through Research Lifecycle project, and I'm hoping everyone can see 1 or 2 things in there which have benefited them, even if they were not aware it was RLP change.